This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
When you partied at Parallel Bar and you were able to see Jose Canseco fresh in Coral Way, Coral Way, what is it? Coral Way High or whatever. What was it called? The one off of 87th Avenue and 16th. It's called Coral Park High. Fresh out of Coral Park High, pre-steroids, tall and skinny. You know you're old.
You're asking me. No, I never partied with Jose Canseco. I did go to Monty's quite a few times though.
Who did not go to Monty's? Come on, bro. I mean, at least who's our age. You had to. Exactly. You never went to Parallel Bars? Never?
Nope, can't say I did.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't partying with Canseco, but I remember because back in those days it was like, hey, there's that kid from Coral Park that's going to the majors, and so yeah, that kind of stuff. So yeah, Canseco was, and this was pre injections because obviously it's like Barry Bonds before his head grew, one of those deals.
What kind of injections did he have?
I don't know if it was the clear. I don't know if it was the clear or the what was the other one that Bonds was talking about? It was the clear or the other one. I forgot what it was. I'm not exactly sure. But remember, Jose Canseco did tell everybody that he is the steroid doctor or something like that. So
or something, right?
Yeah, right. Expert or something like that. Yeah. So
yep.
It is what it is. Exactly. All right. So let me ask you something. Omar talked a little bit about Zaquandre White. Has he caught your eye also?
Running backs and OTAs.
I know. But
okay, having said that, the two things I have noticed among the running backs in those OTAs is Chase Edmonds is very quick, and I have noticed that Zaquandre White runs very high, which I don't like for a running back.
That's not good, actually. Yeah, I was
going to say. It's not good. That's the one thing, because I was keeping an eye on him, and that struck me as, man, the guy runs high.
Is he a big back?
No, I mean, no.
Sometimes big backs struggle to crunch down and have a lower level of a point of contact. That's the thing. So how tall is he? Is he like a 5'10" guy? Because I don't have it in front of me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me. If I had to go like by visualizing, I don't know, maybe 6 feet.
Okay. All right, that's it.
No, and the thickest running back I've seen out there is Sony Michel. It's not Zaquandre White, and then Sony Michel is not going to be confused for Jerome Bettis. So, no, Zaquandre White is more tall and lean than he would be at bowling ball style, and that struck to me. And yeah, no, I've heard his name mentioned, and a lot of like fans are like telling me like, okay, so what happens when he makes the team? And this guy's going to be like a big surprise, and I'm like, simmer down. Whoa, I mean. He could be a great prospect and all that, but as with every rookie free agent,
right?
Reason he didn't get drafted.
Right. No, I'm with you there. I mean, again, that doesn't mean guys don't slip through the cracks and they find their way after, and with the Priest Holmes stories and all that kind of stuff. We get that it happens. There's no doubt about it. But I'm just wondering because he's written about it, and then he talked about it on our show, and I was just wondering if he's caught your eye because, again, without hitting, I can't get I can't get high or low about any lineman or running back or linebacker or defensive end or defensive tackle. Until there's no way a lineman has any kind of advantage until he's able to put on pads.
Correct. Because you can't hold your block. I mean, basically, there's not supposed to be any contact. To me, the OTAs, I look for how are guys moving, particularly guys coming off injuries. You want to see, for the quarterbacks, you want to see how does the ball come out of their hands. DBs, you want to see, again, how well they move, how well they can mirror a wide receiver, and all that good stuff. But for front seven play on defense, very little to go on. For the offensive linemen, again, the one note I wrote down on offensive lineman is Solomon Kinley is not moving well. So that's basically all I have. A lot more of it is learning technique and then applying those. And this would be stuff that the coaches would know. That's a lot tougher for us to pick up on.
Yeah, and look, you know how bad it is? I'm looking it up right now because I saw it this morning. I wasn't gonna use it as a story, but you mentioned it. It shows you how difficult it is to prepare teams in the off season. Somebody just lost a practice because they had contact. And so the NFL stripped a practice away from them because they ended up having some kind of contact. I'm trying to find this story now.
The
I
Bears,
saw
I believe it was.
Yeah, I forgot the team, but that shows you, and to me, that's where this whole process becomes so much more difficult for coaches. Dude, you and I are old enough that we saw two-a-day practices.
Mhm.
We saw mini camps where there was pads on and some contact at times. That all those things are all gone, bro. It's like for you, like one of the things that I love about talking with you, not only that you know the draft, and you also have the long term perspective of covering. How much has it changed for you as a reporter now? Because by training camp, we had a pretty good feel for teams. Now it has to start, I would feel, in training camp when you can start to get a feel for a team. So, how's that changed for you?
I might even tell you that it goes beyond training camp, that you can have a feel. The problem is in training camp is you're practicing against each other. I remember some summers thinking, man, the Dolphins look good, but they were practicing against each other. And then preseason starts and it's like, well, they don't look quite as impressive. Then their regular season starts and it's like, man, they're bad. And nowadays there are a lot of teams. You'll see some teams, and New England was famous for that for many years. They would start off slow, but then they keep building up and building up and building up. And because there's so much less contact up until the start of the regular season, because even now in training camp, they're limited to a certain number of days. You don't get a truly a feel for what team you have until you're almost into the regular season, because you really know all you're doing now is you're projecting. And again, I've also been around long enough, and this is where I get into it with fans a lot, is the excitement, the optimism is absolutely great. I love it and all that, but there's no perspective. Okay. Because it's June. Everybody's happy. Tyreek Hill loves everybody. Give me his contract. I will say something good about everybody and anybody, which is why I wrote a few weeks ago of like these. And it's I understand it's part of the business, but us asking a player about his teammate,
what's he going to say?
There's only one answer. He's looking good, man. This guy's good. And you're looking maybe for the little anecdote, and those are actually, as each year goes by, it's getting harder and harder to even get some kind of anecdote. Like I asked Brandon Jones yesterday because he made the comment of how quickly he clicked with Javon Holland once they first got together, saying it was weird. And I'm like, okay, why was it weird? Had you heard something bad about the guy? What was it about that clicked? And you just don't get anecdotes. It's like, no, we had similar personalities and all that. And and then you're going to get the generic comments of, oh, he's a great player. I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do. Okay.
Something that you do get a little bit at this level for you is maybe coverage with corners, with receivers at times. You just mentioned the guy that I'm kind of interested in, Brandon Jones. I love this kid. I love his nose for the football. I love his want, his need for contact. I think he's a fantastic safety that will develop into a great run supporter, and he already is pretty good. But coverage is his thing. Have you been able to see anything with him in coverage over these few practices that you've been able to have? Because to me, reading and reacting is the one thing that's left for him. It's not a super priority for him like it is for Javon Holland to have the range and all that. But at times, he's going to have to get caught up in some kind of coverages. And that's one of the things that I was worried about. Like, I think it might have been you or it might have been Omar, or one of the guys said something that Tyndall did a nice job in coverage the other day, which is actually one of his negatives. That's actually one of the things that people think he needs to work on. So that was good to hear that he was reading and reacting on that one play there. Have you seen anything with Brandon in that sense?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I told you I have. And I don't really think he's been isolated and
Okay.
like man-to-man coverage. So I don't want to lie. I will, if you want though, I will address Tyndall. There were two plays that stood out. One of which is he came over the top to knock a pass away from Skylar Thompson intended for Ethan Carter over the middle, where Thompson took too long. And that the last few practice that we've seen has become a pattern for him. Is like having a hard time finding open receivers quickly. And then the other play where Tyndall was involved actually got beat down the sideline by Savan Ahmed on a wheel route.
Okay.
Which is a tough assignment because Ahmed can run
fast.
But,
yeah.
I mean, he wasn't.
That's exactly the kind of stuff that he's going to get caught up in at times. And that's the one weakness in his game that people talked about that they told me he has to work on is the pass coverage. They like him in everything else. I think most of the NFL guys I talk to, they love him in all the other areas. It's the pass part that he's got to work on. That's why I asked that, because you can get a little feel for that, at least the reading and reacting, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not convinced he's going to get a whole lot of playing time on defense as a rookie. I
can see a second half maybe. I can see that. I can understand that. Sure, early on, you have to. Yeah, he's got to earn that trust, of course.
A whole lot of special teams for him in 2022 would be my guess.
Yeah. By the way, what's your gut tell you? Does Watson even play this year? Because I don't know how the NFL allows him to play with all this crap.
With every new allegation that comes out, the New York Times report, I mean, it's bad. And then now the Texans are going to get caught up in that too if they, facilitated everything. This is going to get ugly. And I wrote about that yesterday. That it turned out well that the Dolphins did try to make a trade happen. Eventually, they pulled off because they couldn't get all 22.
Thank God.
Lawsuits to be settled with NDAs, according to Rusty Harden, Watson.
Well, that part I'm not sure if that's Rusty Harden. It's a lawyer.
Except what purpose would he have to say it if it's not true?
To make it sound like everybody wanted his guy and that everybody was dying to get his guy, and so he can lie about it where he knows the Dolphins can't challenge and they're not going to get into that muddy water anyway. So he can say whatever the hell he wants. It's a lawyer, bro. And that lawyer with the whole and the latest thing he pulled off with the whole happy endings thing, which is just like, really, dude.
No, that was bad.
That was disgusting. Like no massage is about happy endings. None. The only massages that are happy endings are happy ending massages,
right? Because
they started for the purpose of a happy ending. But when the man or woman is working on a knot on your back or your thigh or whatever, the last thing you're doing is getting an erection. Okay? What you're screaming is, yeah, that's it. That's the spot. That's not sexual activity, bro. Okay? All right? So, that's a lawyer that's why I have a problem trusting any lawyer like that, that is defending dirty people. That's all.
Yeah, fair enough. We can, like I said, again, to me, it's like, why would he, that particular part of it, why would he make it up? But anyway, the one thing that's interesting, though, is I would tell you that right now I'm thinking it's probably unlikely the Dolphins will be facing Watson when they play Cleveland on November 13th, which means our good friend Jacoby Brissett. So that Cleveland game all of a sudden becomes a lot easier.
Jabroni. Yeah. We're going to face a jabroni. I love it.
Unless they do a 180 and stick with Baker Mayfield, although I think that ship has sailed.
Let me tell you something. That game is going to be so monumental because even Byron Jones will have an interception in that game. And he doesn't get a lot of interceptions.
He doesn't get a lot of interceptions.
So that tells you how plentiful that game will be with Jabroni, that even Byron Jones will have an interception in that game. Okay. Noah Igbenogany is going to have an interception in that game. X is going to say, kid, go out there and steal one for the hell of it. This is like the Marlins playing the Nationals. Go ahead. Have fun.
Or they'll throw 5 passes the entire game and let Nick Chubb run the whole day.
By the way, Aren't the Nationals the former Expos?
Mm-hmm.
Did you become a Nationals fan at
Hell
least?
no.
I'm just
Hell to
asking.
the triple no.
Okay, I'm just asking. I mean,
Oh,
you lost
no.
you lost your team in Montreal. I figured you'd at least follow them. It's not like you're living in Montreal. You're living in Miami, so you might as well follow them to what? You would have had a championship at least.
It's pretty close to baseball is dead to me after what Major League Baseball did to the Expos and to Montreal.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
It's like Colorado winning the Stanley Cup right after they moved from Quebec. That did not.
I think the thing with Montreal Expo fans is it's 94, bro. You know, because not only do you lose your team, but then when you had the team, the strike happens.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know we were headed for an Expos Yankees World Series pretty much. That's kind of what it was going to happen. And by the way, not for nothing, that might have been one of the great World Series of all time. Okay? Because those were two excellent teams. I mean, that Spos team made so many other teams better because everybody stole off that team. Man. God. So I think that's the bitterness that magnifies it for Expos fans. That not only did we lose our team, but dude, we got screwed in 94 when we had a great chance to win a championship. And by the way, if I'm correct, that would have been the only chance that Felipe would have had for a World Series, correct?
I believe you are correct. And you want to piss me off even more talking about Expos? Tell me Montreal fans don't support a baseball team when they were drawing around 3 million in the early 80s when they were contending every year.
I don't want to hear that.
They stopped going once there was no money to put into the team and they couldn't compete, and then Major League Baseball started screwing them every which way.
Right. I don't blame Marlins fans.
Correct.
Dude, they built you your stadium. You got your stupid lease. You got your revenue streams. Well, what more do you want? It's your job now. Don't expect us to go just because we're going to show up. You know, Mickey Harrison earns his loyalty. The Dolphins, they haven't earned it in the last 20 years, but Shula did it for them.
Yeah, that's ingrained too.
Huh?
That's ingrained into a lot of older fans.
Right, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. It's just you got to go earn it. I don't blame the Expos. The fans came out when you actually were putting together a team. But, you know, this whole thing of, oh, you got to support your team no matter what. No, screw you, dude. If you're not trying to win.
Bingo.
What, you want me to go spend my money because you're not trying to win?
Yep. No, do you remember the year that the Expos were owned by Major League Baseball before the transfer? They were in contention in September, and Major League Baseball refused to allow them to bring up players from the minors when they were allowed in September.
Right.
I mean, talk about a big FU to the Expos and the people of Montreal, and
that
was the last of 17 straws.
Yeah. They completely screwed Montreal. Yeah, they had no business losing their team. It's the same thing with the Browns. You know, they had no business losing their team. The Sonics. You know, the fans came out, dude. It was you had to get through the whole arena deal with Key Arena and all that mess. You know, it's just it's crazy stuff.
Raiders.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, they've been a very loyal fan base. They have just been mistreated over and over and over. Although, in a twisted way, the Raiders have grown their fan base because of the pops to Northern and Southern California back and forth. And now you add Nevada, and it's like, and they've stayed loyal in that triangle now because they'll fly up north, they'll fly down south, now they'll fly east. And it's all affordable flights. So they've actually, in a way, kind of grown their fan base in a twisted way.
Yeah, except half the people at the games at Allegiant Stadium are like, you know, casino patrons.
Well, yeah. I mean, but you knew that was coming in Vegas.
Correct.
It's a destination place, which is, by the way, it's super smart. Every league should have a team there because you know half the arena is going to be from the other team, and it's going to help your economy in every way possible. It's a coup to have a team there. But the most screwed up part is I thought basketball was going to be the first one in Vegas. They're going to be the last because probably the A's will make it there before them, which I don't even know why they're going to do a deal with the A's. Again, they don't spend.
Yep.
It's like money ball without money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Theo Epstein said. Yeah, I like that money ball stuff. I'll just add money to it and then it'll work, and that's it. That's kind of what it is. What are you working on there at Sports Illustrated?
Continuing the countdown with the jersey numbers matching the number of days to the start of the regular season. Today's number 91. I would imagine Dolphin fans probably could guess
Cam
who
Wake.
the top one is.
Some guy named Cam Wake, right?
Who?
Cam Wake, right? Maybe.
Yeah, but I list the top three because some numbers are just kind of too obvious. It's more fun to do 1, 2, and 3. And 2 and 3.
Can you tell us?
No, I can't tell you.
Right.
People have to click on alldolphins.com to find the answer. Teaser alert. And then today we have a story on Raekwon Davis coming up.
Okay. Big year for Raekwon. I need him to become a force this year. If you don't have a thumper in the middle, and Landon is a thumper, but he's a little up there in age. That's the one. I love Tyndale as the sideline guy. I think they still need to find a young thumper on that team, and they'll probably do that next year. But if you're not going to have that young thumper, then Raekwon Davis needs to be the ultimate disruptor. That's the way I kind of look at it.
Except to me, I think with the way they use their defense, what I think is missing on this team is a bona fide nose tackle, and at 6'7", 320, whatever he is. Not the body type for
just hold up some guys and let everybody else.
Correct, because there's a problem with leverage there because he's so tall. That's why your star run stuffers are short, round guys like Vince Wilfork,
Right.
That's
but
what.
He's a penetrator. He has that in him.
At times, to me, but I look at him, and to me, he's got prototypical 4-3 defensive tackle written all over him, and the Dolphins played more like 3-4 variation type of things.
Right, I got you. All right, follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL and catch his exceptional work there at alldolphins.com, Sports Illustrated. Alain, we will catch up next weekend. Have some fun. I know we're having fun here in Daytona, baby.
Oh, sweet. We're headed to Tampa this weekend. So there
we go. We're in Flagler Beach all weekend long, man.
Nice.
There you go. All right, man. You be good.
Enjoy. Have a good weekend.
You got it. There you go. Alain Poupart in our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.